Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're shining a spotlight on something that touches millions of lives, yet somehow it's still wrapped up in so much silence and misunderstanding. We're talking about the real, day-to-day realities of depression, but more importantly, we're going to look at the incredibly comprehensive and deeply empathetic treatment approach happening over at Seasons in Malibu. It's a premier luxury depression treatment center in California, and honestly, what they're doing is a real game changer. So whether you're looking for answers for yourself, or maybe you're trying to figure out how to help someone you love, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly what depression looks like, how it ripples out into everyday life, and how a truly personalized, holistic healing process can change the entire trajectory. Let's get right into it.
I want to kick things off by making one thing crystal clear. Depression, it is not a weakness. It is not just someone having a string of bad days or feeling a little down. It is a complex medical disorder, and because of that, it can be incredibly tricky to spot. It doesn't look the same for everyone. Someone could literally be high functioning at work, totally holding it together on the outside, while completely drowning on the inside. That's why the absolute most important question you can ask is about a person's baseline. Are you or is your loved one silently struggling with shifts in that baseline functioning? Are the things that used to be a total breeze suddenly feeling like climbing Mount Everest?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Recognizing the early signs. When the baseline shifts. What's absolutely fascinating and often totally misunderstood about early warning signs is that we usually think of depression purely as an emotional thing, right? But honestly, the body almost always sounds the alarm way before the mind does. The onset isn't usually a sudden dramatic drop off a cliff. It's more of a slow fade. Maybe it's triggered by a specific stressful event, or maybe genetic predispositions are just quietly chipping away at your daily life. But suddenly, you notice huge physiological changes. Sleep patterns get completely out of whack. You're either tossing and turning all night, or you literally can't drag yourself out of bed. Your energy tanks, leaving you with this heavy lethargy and a total loss of enthusiasm. Even your appetite can wildly swing, leading to unusual weight loss or gain. These physical, bodily shifts are your early warning signals, showing up long before the emotional weight is fully recognized. And then, right alongside those physical changes, the emotional and cognitive shifts start to creep in. You might completely lose interest in the stuff that usually lights you up. We're talking uncontrollable tearfulness or mood swings that just give you whiplash. There's often this intense irritability or a sudden inability to just focus on a simple task. And deep down, a person might be carrying around this massive, suffocating weight of guilt and shame, along with feelings of total hopelessness and helplessness. In the most severe cases, thoughts might even turn towards self-harm. It's like your entire inner world is being hijacked, draining every ounce of motivation to just engage with life. Sometimes people even turn to substance use just as a desperate way to mask those incredibly uncomfortable feelings.
Section 2. Severe impacts of depression. The ripple effect on life.
Now, if those early signs get brushed under the rug, the internal struggle inevitably spills over into a person's external reality, and it creates this cascading, downward spiral. When poor coping skills collide with an untreated medical disorder, it actively deteriorates a person's life. It usually starts with retreating inward, leading to deep loneliness and isolation. That withdrawal then creates massive friction with family and friends, leading to lost relationships. As it gets harder to just manage daily activities, it can easily lead to losing a job. And ultimately, this cascade can spiral into an increase in substance use and even a complete lack of basic daily hygiene. It's a devastating domino effect.
We really need to pause right here and talk about the most tragic, severe risk of untreated depression. Look, if depression goes completely unchecked and someone reaches a point where they feel entirely devoid of hope, it can lead to suicide. This is an absolute 100% medical emergency. If you or a loved one is in crisis right now, please call 911 immediately. Getting stabilized is absolutely critical. It is step number 1 before any long-term healing can even begin. But listen to me, there is profound hope here. Because once a person is stabilized, real, lasting recovery isn't just a pipe dream. It is entirely possible. And that brings us directly to the core philosophy of Seasons in Malibu. Their promise is so powerful, and it goes like this. We don't just treat symptoms. We uncover the root causes of depression. Boom, right there. That is exactly where we pivot from just managing a daily crisis to actively, fundamentally healing a person's life. Which leads us to Section 3, the Seasons in Malibu approach. Tailored holistic healing. The team at Seasons in Malibu completely gets that mental health is absolutely not a one-size-fits-all situation. Their goal isn't just to put a Band-Aid on things and help you feel a little better. They're aiming to give you the premier rehab experience and genuinely support you in getting back to your absolute peak level of functioning. And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. Standard care, it's usually just symptom management, giving the exact same interventions to everyone who walks through the door. But the Seasons model, they do an independent, deep dive evaluation into your specific trauma, your background, your family history, and any co-occurring issues. They pair heavily researched, evidence-based therapies with holistic healing to target the actual root cause of the disorder. I mean, just look at the sheer lineup of modalities they offer. This is what fully comprehensive care actually looks like. On the clinical side, you've got psychiatry, medication management, doctorate-level primary therapy, and even medical detox if that's what's needed. For behavioral therapies, they're using heavy hitters like CBT, DBT, EMDR, and brain spotting. But then they balance all of that clinical work with incredible experiential and holistic treatments. We're talking equine therapy, somatic experiencing, hypnotherapy, the whole shebang. It's this cutting-edge blend specifically designed to treat you as a whole human being, not just a label on a chart. By jumping into a deeply personalized program like this, the benefits are incredibly tangible. We're talking about a real, noticeable boost in your energy, your motivation, and your ability to just concentrate on life again. You're going to see your relationships improve, and your communication with the people you love completely transform. But honestly, the absolute biggest win? By actually figuring out the root of why the depression hit in the first place, you walk away with the vital insight and self-awareness you need to stop the cycle, minimize future harm, and lock in a recovery that actually lasts. Section 4. Why choose Seasons in Malibu, a professional center you can deeply trust. So why is this specific center such a highly sought-after choice in California? Honestly, it boils down to the fact that it's a dynamic, living partnership. The Seasons approach is built on customized, individualized care set within this incredibly serene, therapeutic environment that just acts as a natural catalyst for healing. You're working with this deeply dedicated team of expert clinicians who are all about promoting a supportive community. And they don't just hand you a rigid plan on day one and say good luck. They continually adapt your treatment based on exactly how your mind and body are responding in real time. Plus, they are incredibly accessible. They literally have a team standing by 24/7 at 424-235-2009. And finally, they make sure you leave with a comprehensive aftercare plan so your long-term recovery is completely mapped out. If you're looking for hard proof that this approach actually works, the data really speaks for itself. Seasons in Malibu holds a stellar 4.8 out of 5 aggregate rating across highly trusted, objective platforms like Consumer Affairs, Google, and Facebook. This isn't just some slick marketing campaign, guys. This is real, hard-earned, positive word of mouth from actual individuals and families whose lives have been completely transformed by this targeted, individualized care. I really want to hit this point one more time because I think it's absolutely crucial. Depression is a medical disorder, period. It requires professional, dedicated, and comprehensive care. You wouldn't try to heal a shattered leg bone with positive vibes and a little bit of sunshine, right? So you absolutely shouldn't have to navigate a severe mental health crisis without the proper medical and therapeutic tools. You deserve real care. And I think this quote right here, from their core philosophy, is literally the most comforting thing you can hear when you're trapped in that terrible isolation. Your healing is now a collective mission. Just let that sink in for a second. At Seasons in Malibu, you or your struggling family member do not have to carry this crushing weight alone anymore. There is an entire team of dedicated, compassionate experts ready to step in, link arms with you, and shoulder that burden together. Which brings us to the final and really the most important question. Are you ready to stop silently managing your symptoms and finally uncover the root cause of your depression? True, lasting healing is out there, but it all starts the very second you decide to reach out and ask for help. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. I really hope this deep dive empowers you or someone you love to take that absolutely critical next step. Take care of yourselves.